To not have the defending champs on TV more, I think is kind of crazy. Well, the fact is, it's not crazy if nobody will watch. Her neck clotheslined from hell during a game, but we're supposed to believe there's no actual animosity there. So, let's check this out right here. On ESPN's First Take, obviously people want to watch Caitlin Clark, so you have to put people on TV that people want to see. Absolutely. Now that makes sense. But at the...
You know what's wild? Caitlin Clark's getting 41 out of 44 games on national TV, and some WNBA players are furious about it. But Lisa Leslie just dropped a truth bomb that's got everyone talking. She's telling players to stop complaining and start appreciating. This isn't just about jealousy, it's about the future of women's basketball.
And a lot of these WNBA players that suffer from jealousy and envy and hate enter in Lisa Leslie because she was asked about it. And, well, her answer made a lot more sense. It did. For Caitlin Clark, well, they're not going to love this, right? Sorry, Angel. Sorry, Dejanay Carrington. And so many others that want to claim like, ain't nothing to see here except when Caitlin gets her.
When one WNBA player explodes in popularity, should others tear her down or build on that momentum? Leslie's take might change how you see this whole controversy. Let's break down why some players can't stand seeing Clark shine, and why Leslie says that's the wrong move. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Seriously, that's why these other teams are not on more, because the ratings and the demand for them doesn't warrant that they're on more. Again, one of the reasons I made that video is because none of these players will acknowledge the elephant in the room. Why aren't people tuning into the rest of these games? Sorry, not sorry. I know facts clouds feelings. I don't think raising the level of other teams has to mean bringing Caitlin or the Indiana Fever down.
You know what's happening right now in the WNBA? A full-on battle over TV time, and it's getting ugly. Some players are mad that Caitlin Clark's games are taking over national TV. We're not talking about a few extra games here and there. We're talking about an overwhelming takeover that's reshaping how the entire league operates. Let's break down the numbers because they're absolutely wild. The Indiana Fever, thanks entirely to Clark, will have 41 out of their 44 games broadcast nationally this season. That's not just impressive, it's unprecedented. When you compare that to established teams with multiple stars and even championship pedigrees that are getting significantly less airtime, you start to see why there's tension brewing. The networks didn't just wake up one day and decide to give Clark special treatment. This is pure economics at work. When Clark steps on the court, viewership numbers skyrocket to levels the WNBA executives have only dreamed about for years. Regular season games that would typically draw modest audiences are suddenly pulling playoff-level numbers. The networks see these ratings, and they're practically salivating at the advertising revenue. Players like Nneka Ogwumike aren't staying quiet about this situation. They're speaking up about what they see as an unfair distribution of the spotlight. There's this growing frustration among veterans who've been grinding for years, helping build this league from the ground up, only to see a rookie come in and immediately get the lion's share of media attention.
By the way, the Minnesota Lynx put out a situation where you're having to buy a certain amount of tickets to get to go see the Fever play. Now, they would probably have to remove some of those games they gave to her and give it to other teams. And for the WNBA, that would be disastrous. They don't capitalize enough on Caitlin Clark to begin with. I've seen some Caitlin Clark fans be upset about this, and at first, I did a what the F. And then I said to myself,
you can feel the tension during post-game interactions. See it in the subtle social media jabs, and it's becoming impossible to ignore. But here's where it gets interesting. The teams playing against the Fever are actually benefiting from this Clark effect too. When they face Indiana, suddenly their players are performing in front of millions more eyes than they would be otherwise. Their games matter more in the public conversation. Their highlights get shared. Their names get recognized. It's like getting a free marketing boost just by being on the schedule opposite Clark. Some of these frustrated players seem to be channeling their feelings directly onto the court. Have you seen some of those fouls Clark's been taking? Those aren't just normal rookie initiations. There's an edge to them, a message being sent. The cold shoulders from veterans who've been fighting for recognition for a decade while playing in half-empty arenas. It tells a story about the complicated emotions swirling around this phenomenon. The business side is getting creative too.
Okay, that's capitalism. It's kind of savvy, to be honest with you. Yeah, does that sort of alienate some fans? It does. But they're looking to make the most money. They're a business. Well, wait a minute. If we're always coming down on these teams for not wanting to for not capitalizing on Caitlin Clark's demand, when they do so, we can't lose our minds. We don't get it both ways. Some WNBA team is actually trying to run a business. Shocking, I know. They should have those amount of games on TV on prime time, but I think the other teams should also have more than what they have.
Look at what the Minnesota Lynx did. They created special ticket packages that literally forced fans to buy tickets to multiple games if they wanted to see Clark play. It's like saying, you want the main attraction? You've got to pay for the whole circus. And fans did. That shows you just how valuable these Clark games have become. Teams are leveraging her star power to boost their bottom line in ways we haven't seen before in women's basketball. Why is all this happening? It's simple. The networks are businesses, not charities. They're showing Clark's games because millions of people are actually watching them, not because they're playing favorites. These broadcasting decisions aren't made based on what's fair to all teams or what players deserve after years of service. They're made based on what will generate the most revenue. For years, the WNBA has been fighting desperately for viewers, for relevance, for attention in the crowded sports landscape. They've been pushing for more media coverage, better time slots, increased visibility. And now that they finally have eyes on their product, more eyes than ever before, some players are upset about who's bringing them in. The frustration is understandable on a human level. Imagine working at a company for years, doing solid work, only to have a new hire come in and immediately get promoted to the corner office with a view. But sports entertainment isn't a traditional workplace with seniority rules. It's driven by audience demand. And right now, the audience is demanding Clark. So here's the real talk from Lisa Leslie herself about Caitlin Clark's impact. When one person eats, we're all eating exactly. We all get more opportunities. It just opens it up for everyone else. That's the point so many players are missing. This isn't some zero-sum game where Clark wins and everyone else loses. The smart WNBA players are figuring this out fast. They're not fighting the attention. They're embracing it, building their brands alongside it. The league is at a crossroads right now. Either ride this wave to new heights or get left behind complaining about who deserves what. Lisa's message couldn't be clearer. This rising tide can lift all boats.